Welcome back to This McCrazy Wife. Today I want to take you on a little trip with me and my mom and my sister to Hartville, Ohio. So about 2 weeks ago, we decided to take a Saturday and go down to visit some of the thrift stores that they have in that area. There is a huge restaurant with gift shop and also a big hardware store, which it's a hardware store unlike any hardware store I've ever seen before. It is so awesome, and I'm going to try to give you a little glimpse inside of the restaurant and also inside the gift store and the hardware store. Now, this is a two-part little video series. This first video is just going to be the shops here at Hartville. The second video that I'll hopefully post within a week or so, that will be the thrift stores and an antique store that we went to. We had so much fun on this day. And if you are anywhere near this area, seriously, if you're an hour or even 2 hours from this area, I personally think that these shops and this restaurant here in Hartville, it's worth the drive. It is quite a drive for us. We do not live super close to this area, but it's a really beautiful drive, especially if you put in to stay off of the highway. It is a beautiful drive into here, and it is just a really fun place to go. So here you can see the shops, and then you can see Hartville Kitchen. Now, when I show down here to the left, way down there is the hardware store. So these are both, they're all right next to each other here, super easy to get to. And it just is such a neat experience. The restaurant, I have actually been here. Well, this will be my third time that I've been in this restaurant. Every time I've been here, the food is incredible. The people who work here are super nice, very, very friendly. Now, full disclosure, I feel like it's a pretty expensive place, but I think it's worth it as just kind of a special fun thing to do sometimes. So, when you first enter Hartville Kitchen, they have a bakery, and it is an incredible bakery. We have gotten a cake from here at Easter, actually. We got one of their cakes, and it was absolutely fantastic. Now, as you can see from this line, we are not the only ones who enjoyed Hartville Kitchen on this day. And it is typical to wait in line whenever I've been there. It's been typical to wait in line, but it is absolutely worth it. The room that you stand in when you're waiting in line to go into the restaurant has beautiful artwork. This artwork is just so neat. It's like everything is 3D, but it is just beautiful. So I wanted to show just a few of the pictures, but they have others in here that I didn't actually take the time to show because the line was moving pretty quickly. As long as that line was, we did not wait for that long. They move people through very quickly to get to your table. And like I said, the staff here is so incredibly nice. I do believe they actually have, well, I know they have concerts here. So I know several Christian artists have been here doing concerts, some comedians. So that's something fun to look into. As you're standing there waiting in line, they do have a display of their menu so you can decide what you want to eat while you're waiting. So, like I've mentioned on my channel a few times, I am doing Weight Watchers. So, I tried to choose some things that wouldn't go too far off of plan for me while indulging in a really delicious dessert. So, I had the grilled chicken, or I guess it was broiled chicken. I had a side of corn and a plain baked potato. It was actually delicious. I had a fruit cocktail, which I did not like and did not eat. But then I decided to show you what my mom and my sister got. My sister's salad was beautiful. It is a vegetarian option if you're interested. So it looked delicious. And then I did indulge in a piece of carrot cake, which was phenomenal. My mom got the pumpkin pie, which was piled in the most whipped cream I have ever seen on a piece of pie before. And my sister got the peanut butter pie. So we really enjoyed our dinner and our dessert. So after we finished eating, it was time to start shopping in the gift shop. Now there is a gift shop right there at the Hartville Kitchen, and then they do have basically gift type items over in the hardware store as well. But I wanted to give you a little glimpse into that bakery that I showed you a little bit earlier. These cakes, I am not kidding. Their cake is phenomenal. Now, I am not a frosting lover. In fact, my carrot cake that I had for lunch, I took most of the frosting off and gave to my sister because I just love cake. It doesn't really need a lot of frosting to make me happy. But their frosting is delicious, but their cake is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Highly recommend. You try a piece of their cake if you go to the Hartville Kitchen. So here was just a few things. I always kind of head towards the kitchen type items in a gift store. I like to find kitchen gadgets and just kind of look at all the fun stuff that they have. And they do have quite a bit to choose from here. Again, it is pricey, but it's just a super fun place to look around. And um, I didn't end up buying anything in here, though I will show you here in just a minute some of the coffees that they had that my sister did get. So they just have like pancake mix and teas and coffees and just various kitchen gadgets that are fun to look at, but I don't really need. Some really cool pitchers. These are a lot like the Pampered Chef, the quick stir pitchers, where it's got the plunger that you just kind of mix up your whatever's in your pitcher, makes it really nice. And then they had this was new. I did not remember seeing this when I'd been here before. They had a lot of different oils. They had, I guess you could sample them, which I can't even imagine just sampling straight up oil, but I guess maybe if it's really good, it might be okay. But they had like gift sets and some seasonings, and we did not sample any of it, but it was neat to look at. Always the cookbooks. I'm always headed towards the cookbooks and enjoy looking at that. And then these beautiful measuring cups, or I'm sorry, measuring spoons. I've always wanted a set of these, but every time I look at them, they're so expensive. I just never end up buying any. But these were the little coffees that they had. They had different flavors, s'mores and creme brulee, and just different ones that looked so delicious. So my sister got, I think, 4 or 5 different kinds to take with us when we go on vacation, just to have some fun coffee each morning. So then they had some different kinds of sauces, mild and hot sauces in these containers that looked like grenades. I thought these were really funny. It would kind of make a cool gift option if you wanted to give somebody a fun gift. So then part of the Hartville Kitchen is the Hartville Shops. So you're still in the same big building, but you head into a huge room that is the Hartville gift shop. Now, I'm not showing a whole lot of the gift shop because there were a lot of people in there shopping, and I just wanted to respect their privacy and not be filming people while they're trying to shop. But I will try to show you a few things that were in here. One of the first things we saw were these adorable little 3D printed critters. I did end up taking some of these home for my family because I just thought they were so fun. They had a lot of fall gift items. I loved that rabbit and mouse. A lot of kitchen things, pillows, just a lot of really fun fall things to look at. So we really enjoyed looking at all of this and just got us in the mood for fall. All the cute turkeys and pumpkin pie. Loved these toothpick holders, especially the pumpkin pie one was super cute. And then those were like pie, some kind of something you do with pies. I guess make little individual hand pies or something. Then they had a lot of clothes in here. So a lot of cute t-shirts. Of course, I liked the one with the iced coffee on the front, but I also love the one with the campers and just the outdoor theme. Again, this would be a great place if you wanted to go and shop for Christmas or something. I thought this was funny. It says, I'm not old, I'm well seasoned. They had a lot of pajamas that were really fun. I loved any of the ones with the black bears and the moose and the dogs, of course. Just a lot of very fun stuff. Now, they had a lot more than just clothes here, but they did have back there, it was kind of almost like a Christian bookstore with books and mugs and just all kinds of stuff. There's so much in this gift shop that I just wasn't able to show because there were just too many people shopping. But there's a lot of room. So even though I'm saying there's a lot of people, it was still very enjoyable to shop in there. There's plenty of places for all of those people to go. But they had a lot of candles, and honestly, this spot here reminds me of the Hallmark stores that used to be in malls. I don't know if there's any left anywhere, but that's very much what this area reminded me of. I loved the Ohio kitchen towels, those were super fun. So we finished in the gift shop and we headed towards the hardware store. Again, this is all in the same parking lot. But this hardware store is massive. I will show you here in the video in a bit, but there is an actual house inside of this hardware store that you can tour and, basically just pick out your kitchen and your living room and all of the rooms and things. It is just the coolest hardware store I've ever been in before. So we spent, I don't even know, an hour and a half, 2 hours probably in the store and could have spent longer, but we also wanted to get to the thrift stores. But I absolutely loved this Highland Cow yard sign. It was kind of expensive though. I didn't get it, but it was super, super cute. So when you first walk into the hardware store, you have a lot of gift items, a lot of houseware type things, a lot of things for the kitchen, which again is where I kind of tend to head right towards placemats and bowls and plates and cups and just so much stuff. They had, I would say, probably most of their fall stuff out. So we really enjoyed looking at that. But they were just beginning to bring Christmas out, which I'll show you here in a little bit. But they had some beautiful dried flowers, really pretty soft fall blankets that we were looking at. And then so many different kinds of decorations for just the different color palettes for fall, depending on what you like. I loved these green pumpkins. I really like green pumpkins or kind of that teal blue. Loved this picture. It was so pretty. And then, like I said, they were bringing out their Christmas. As far as what they had out in the actual store on the floor was mostly just these Christmas picks, I think, was all that they had brought out. They were beautiful if you are interested in decorating with that or putting them into wreaths or anything. I love the woodland look of like the pine cones and the pine boughs or whatever they are. I don't know what's a bough, but I love the tiny pine cones. They're so pretty. And then we continued on, and again, more Christmas. They didn't have like the really fun Christmas stuff out yet here, but when we do a tour of the house that's inside of the hardware store, we'll see a lot more Christmas. I loved this little house. I have no idea what this was or what it would be used for, but I thought it looked like a super cute little house for our dog. Of course, he lives inside. He doesn't live outside in a dog house, but it would be fun for him to play in. So they were getting rid of their summer stuff. So there were a lot of summer things clearanced. These fountains I thought were so pretty. And then they just had, what does that say, 50% off their 4th of July. I feel like most of their summer stuff was 50% off. This would be super cute for a barbecue. It'd hold like relish or something in it. But they had, like I said, their spring stuff, their summer stuff, I think was all 50% off. To be perfectly honest, even at 50% off, it was still kind of expensive for some of it. It was a little bit surprising. Um, but again, it's just fun to look at. You don't have to always buy things just to enjoy looking at them. Yeah, $9 for that little tiny picture is just like, what? But it was fun to look at the clearance summer things, but I was kind of thinking more for towards fall. So I really enjoyed that part of it a bit more. I thought these were kind of funny looking, the peppers and the eggplant. I guess if you like to decorate in veggies. But they had some really cute outdoor things that would have been really fun. But sometimes at the end of summer, it's hard for me to think towards next summer. I'm just like already in fall mode. So rather than, these were so adorable, would be so, so cute in a garden. But again, I was just thinking fall and not really thinking summer at this point. We thought this mirror was beautiful, but my mom picked it up to look at it, and I think it was like 60 or $70, which even half price, it was very, very pretty, but the price was just like a little shocking. She did not buy it, by the way. They had a lot of strawberry stuff in their summer things, which again is super cute. I don't decorate in strawberries, so I wasn't interested in buying any of it, but it was really fun. Very cheerful to look at. I'm sure this changes all the stuff that they have up here with the seasons and from year to year. So it's a fun place to go back to multiple times. I always have to check out the cake stands. I used to decorate cakes. I had a home baking business. I did cakes and cupcakes and sold them. So I always love to look at cake stands and things like that. And then back into the fall with the pumpkins and the candles. They had beautiful candles. So they had some soaps and lotions and lots of pumpkins, lots of really pretty pictures. I loved that one. And that one. I like the look of the chalkboard type pictures. And then the candles, autumn leaves and coffee, please. Oh, that was the caramel latte scent. I remember that one smelled really, really pretty. I just love the colors. I love traditional fall colors. The oranges and the browns. They're just so pretty. All the cute scarecrows and the wood look. I just love all the natural wood look. I absolutely loved this mug. I did buy it. I'll put a little picture in here. I was picking pumpkins back in my garden and had my fall mug. It was so much fun. There's that color of pumpkin that I really like, that teal blue. This Harvest Apple body lotion I ended up buying. I think that was the scent that I ended up buying. It was beautiful. I know my mom got a couple of them. They had some soaps as well, and they just smelled so good. I really like that lotion. And then, of course, Ohio State for anybody who's a football fan. They have a huge toy section in here, which I didn't really go down, but they do have a really nice toy section. They have these bracelets that are really neat. When you buy one, you can track an animal online. So we were looking at this display. It seemed to be things that you could also purchase at a place called Lehman's. It's a store, I think, probably pretty close to where Hartville is. I've never been there, but I've seen it online and I would love to go there sometime. So I really liked the bowls and things that they had from there. So we continued on and I wandered through the candle aisle. Had a lot of candles, a lot of the wax warmers with the little, wax scents. I have a couple of these, but I don't really use them as much anymore now that my kids are teenagers and I'm not really worried about burning candles. I just kind of like to burn candles now. But these certainly can be fun. They just have so much to look at. I loved this. I'm guessing it's like a bread box. It'd be so fun to have that in your kitchen and either put fresh baked goods in there or just decorate inside of it. It's so fun. The salt and peppers kind of reminded me of the Ray Dunn look. Actually, a lot of this reminds me of that. The green pitcher on the bottom was so pretty, and the little measuring cups. The little salt and pepper sellers with the spoons on them, they kind of remind me of the Hearth and Hand collection. I actually have the salt and pepper ones from Hearth and Hand. And more dishes and more towels and kind of just something for every kitchen in here. Again, we did end up buying some things from here, and I will include the haul of everything we bought in the next video that I put on where I show the thrift store that we went to. We'd actually already gone to one thrift store before we went and had lunch at Hartville. And then after we left the hardware store here, we actually went to, I think, two more thrift stores. One was kind of an antique store. And then we actually also went to a salvage shop, which it wasn't the best one I've ever been in before, but we did go to that. So again, I'll show everything that we bought at the end of the next video. But there were so many kitchen gadgets and tools and I enjoyed looking at all the lodge stuff. I love my lodge cast iron. So it was kind of neat to see. Um, Speaking of lodge, I actually had gotten at the first thrift store we went to, I got a brand new lodge cookbook. It was like, I think it was like $1.50. It was such a good price, and I was very excited about that. But they had a lot of coffees and teas, and I mean, seriously, just about anything you could imagine, they've got it here. Thought these wooden spoons were really neat. Very pricey, but very neat. And they had the Mrs. Myers. I was hoping to find the Mrs. Myers fall all purpose cleaner, but they didn't have that. These were the bowls that I was looking at up at the other display that were from Lehman's. They're so pretty. I absolutely loved them. But I didn't end up getting one here. And then I ended up finding one that looked very much like that at a thrift antique store that we went to later. And I ended up getting that one instead. So they had a lot of aprons and towels and just so much stuff. I feel like there's definitely something for everybody in this store. Lots of mugs and glasses, plates. I definitely spend the most time in stores like this in the kitchen aisles because I love to cook and bake and be in my kitchen, so it's fun to look at all the different gadgets and things. They had this chopper like thing. It came with this little wooden, almost like a shallow bowl cutting board. Again, that was from that Lehman's place. I'm not exactly sure what the deal was with it, but it looked kind of neat. Something about a new way to chop. I loved all these cutting boards. Again, I love the look of natural wood. Our house is decorated very much like a cabin theme, and I love the natural wood look for like cutting boards and cake stands and just all that kind of stuff. Then you come to the house that is in the middle of the hardware store. And it just blows my mind that there is this literal house standing in the middle of the store. It is a beautiful house. This is the probably third time I've toured this house, I think, because I'm sure I've toured it each of the times that I've been here. And they always have it decorated different. But it's so crazy to stand on the front porch of a house inside of a hardware store. But when you first walk in, you have the living room and the kitchen. This table was decorated so beautifully. Again, the inside of this house, obviously, as you can see, is decorated for Christmas. The built in shelves that they have are so pretty. You just imagine how fun it would be to have that in your house and be able to decorate all of those shelves. Though, honestly, what I'm thinking is how much I would hate to dust all of those shelves, but it would be really fun to decorate. I wanted this whole tablescape for our house. It was just so pretty. Now, they did tell us, because everything says don't touch anything because that picture is just beautiful, but they were doing a photo shoot in there. So everything was set up for that. So they asked that you didn't touch anything. But the one worker did tell us that if there was anything we saw that we really wanted, I love this picture also, but if we saw anything that we wanted, we could either take a picture of it or just tell them at the front desk that there was something in here Christmas that we wanted, and they would find it for us so that we could go ahead and get it, though they hadn't unpacked all the stuff. They were very, very nice in here. I just loved that cabinet and the nativity scene inside. It was so pretty. You got your beautiful fireplace and your living room. I love the shelves beside of the fireplace here. The pictures they had were just beautiful. Reindeer with the Santa hat is so cute, but it was just absolutely stunning to just stand here and take in all of the beautiful decorations and Christmas tree. And I'm not ready for Christmas yet. I very much want to enjoy fall first, but it was so fun to stand in here and just look at all the beautiful decorations. Honestly, I think what a fun job to have the job of actually decorating this house would be really, really neat. Just so much to see in here. And this table, can you even imagine? I mean, what a massive table to have in your kitchen. The kitchen, I loved the colors that they had here. And then this is the built-in refrigerator built right in there. The counter space and the cupboard space, the wreaths hanging on the cupboards almost reminded me of a Hallmark movie. Then I'm really not sure. I don't know if this is just supposed to be another little kitchen if you just want a smaller kitchen, or if they really think you want a little kitchen off your giant kitchen. But I loved all the fun things that were in there. It's a fantastically huge stove. The picture above was so pretty, the Merry Christmas and candy canes. I like the dark sink also. We have a white sink and it shows every single stain and scratch and everything else. It'd be really neat to have a black one. My mom was pointing out all the cute dog stuff to me. We have a beagle that is very spoiled, and I'm sure he would love all of those things. But how great would this be to have like a little place that you just have to wash your dog in your house? It was almost like a mud room, I think. Have like a little glimpse of the front porch out here. It's all the porch furniture and everything. It still just is so crazy to me to think that this is all inside of a store. Like you literally feel like you're touring a house, but you're just touring a fake house inside of a hardware store. The bathroom was absolutely beautiful. All the fun Christmas soaps, and the sink was so pretty. You go in here, I think this would be kind of like, I don't know, maybe a laundry, yeah, a laundry room. So there's your washer and dryer and a place to iron your clothes and hang your things, and peppermint frost soap. I love the smell of peppermint. And then the bedroom, there were some people in the bedroom, so I didn't film in there. And then along the back of the store, I assume this is the back of the store. There might be stuff behind it, I'm not sure, but they had other houses. I think one of them you could actually go inside of, but this is the back of the house that we were touring. But I'll show here in a little bit the front of those. But I just thought this porch was so pretty. I like the red sled and all the pine garland and everything. It was just so well decorated and so beautiful. So this is another one of the houses. This one you can't go inside. So I'm guessing this is just to sell, exterior things. But it's very pretty exterior of the house. Love the decorations. I love the stone look on the pillars and the green. That color is just so pretty. So we were finished touring the houses and we went out to the rest of the store again. They do have some food items here, some syrups and honey and maple syrup and all that kind of stuff. A lot of snack type things. They do have a section, which I didn't get a video of because there was a lot of people standing there looking at it, but they have a lot of really neat bottled pops. So different varieties of pops you can pick from. And then they have pretty much everything you could imagine, whether pants, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, in the Carhartt brand. It was like a whole Carhartt store inside of here. So that was kind of fun to look at. I loved the colors of these sweatshirts. They have shoes and jackets and just seriously everything you can imagine. But we did finish up here. And then we head from here to a couple more thrift stores, which again I will show in the next video. But we had such a wonderful day spending it here in Hartville. I cannot recommend enough that you take a trip there. Like I said, if you're within an hour or two, to me, it is absolutely worth it. Visit the thrift stores while you're at it. You can definitely make a day of it, and to me, it is worth the drive. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you will stick around and see the next one when I show you the thrift stores that we went to. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your fall, and can't wait to see you next time. Here's a little glimpse of one of the stores that we'll be going to in the next video. So thanks again so much for watching this McCrazy Wife.